Hey guys, my name is Cidiac and welcome back to another episode of OilTown here in City Skylines 2, where we're now about to cross over, boys, the brand new bridge that we created in the last episode, where we've now officially extended the highway. Hold on. Well, there we go. We got through one of the sections. Look at us go now, boys. And it now unlocks this whole brand new area to be able to work with and utilize a little bit better. Now, there's one more thing I want to do in today's episode before we can go building crazy, and that is to incorporate a little bit more kind of infrastructure so we have the ability to connect more than what we do right now. And the other reason for that is it gives me a little bit of time for allowing the final bit of air pollution to disappear, and hopefully a little bit more time for the ground pollution to slowly dip away. But mainly the air pollution has almost gone, so we can start making progress on this area, and we'll be doing that in the next episode. But today, actually, before I tell you what we're going to be doing today, I like you guys said, yo, Cidiac, you know there's a mod on the, it's not called the workshop no more, is it? I don't even know what it's called right now. But there's a mod where you can kind of make it not snow, and I'm like, wait, so you telling me right now I've sat through all these episodes of snow waiting for the snow to go, and you're telling me I can just remove the snow? And you're like, yeah. So what I did was I got it. If I select no snow on the nice weather mod, I can also do no rain, which I think I'm going to do as well, and get rid of no snow. Are you ready for this? Shut the front door. Don't speak to me ever again. What is going on Right, listen, I know I'm always late to the party and stuff, but come on. The party ended like 17 years ago and I've just turned up right now with a bottle of Lambrini. What's going on, boys? Oh my goodness me. Right, we have no snow, and I forgot how good OilTown looks with no snow. Wow, this is amazing. So welcome back to the episode. So what are we doing today then? Well, there's one last little bit of infrastructure I want to implement, which is then going to not finalize OilTown in general, but kind of finalizes an area a little bit more, and we can focus on bringing more people in, because it's going to allow us not only to add more residents, but when I start working on the brand new area over here, we're going to need to bring a lot more people in. So I think I might as well tick this off the bucket list before we go any further. It also means I'm going to create a brand new region, which means I need you guys to give me some name suggestions in the comment section down below. But I'm finally going to reposition the harbour. I know, guys. Wow, Shakara. I mean, not like I mentioned it a few episodes ago. But since I moved the cargo harbour over here, it's freed me up a little bit more, and it's kind of made me kind of question this area in general. Now, if I view it like this, if I was able to rotate this 90 degrees and make it go long ways, it means that I can maybe kind of reclaim a little bit of land here, and this becomes quite a valuable area in terms of real estate. Right now we have some offices. They are tall buildings. We have some low density offices over here, which I can see this area being slightly changed. And I can throw in some taller buildings, some bigger I can make a skyscraper area here. We've got a few skyscrapers over there, some over here. We've got a big chunk there, which we can now kind of fill it up a little bit more here, which is going to bring so many more people over. But there's a few issues. We've got to reclaim it. We've got to rotate this. Also, somehow, I've got to try and integrate, wait for it, the subway network. Where is it right now? The subway network on this. We currently have a stop just there. I'm now pushing the harbour further away. And the reason the subway station is here is because I had great difficulties in building in this vicinity because of the waterways. But all those issues are going to disappear. Oh my goodness me. This is going to be wild. So like I said, guys, if you are enjoying the series, smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Yay. Right, so first things first, pause the game. We've got to pause the game. It's now gone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to initially just reposition this harbour somewhere else. So I think I'm just going to throw it I mean, why do I need to reposition it? I don't know why I need to reposition it. I can just delete it, right? I can just straight up delete it and then we'll just create some new stuff. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. Right, delete you. And what is this here that needs to be deleted? I'm not quite sure who you are right now, but you should not be here. What is going on? What are you? Are you a waterway? Because you need to be water gun. Ha ha ha. Right, shut up. Okay, so we've got the connection leading over there. I might have to do brand new connections. So if I just kind of kill off you. I don't know whether that's kind of playing into this. What is that then? And am I able to kind of... Right, so I can't terrain on it, which might be a slight issue. But at the same time, though, it might actually be in an area that I don't mind. So basically... Right, basically, you've got to look at this area in whole, and these roads should link over to the roads there. Now, we've got a couple of roads that we are going to pass through, and I think we're going to run the harbour on this road here. So I'm only really claiming this space, but it means I can then delete all this and reconfigure this whole area. So if I got the road, and if I selected here... Do I need that 4-lane road now? I feel like we still do. But I'm thinking we might kind of slightly switch things up a little bit. Yeah. Right, we'll come back to that in just a minute. I'm trying to do like 20 jobs at once here, aren't I? Right, if I build you to there, is that aligned perfectly? Well, it's as good as, right? It's as good as. Actually, do you know what? It's not as good as. It's not as good as right now. So if I select you and run you across, is that... Oh, so there's me saying, right, these should be perfectly aligned, and I'm now discovering they're not perfectly aligned. Wow. Well, you've messed up there, boy, haven't you? You've messed up there right now. So if I just delete you, and we're going to take this here. I'm not sure which side's completely out. To be honest with you, it probably is not this side, if I'm being completely honest. But then again, look at this. Right now. Look at this. What is even going on here right now with all of this zoning? Right, I'm going to delete you. And let me get rid of the anarchy. Do you reckon it's to do with this road? This 4-lane road's not playing ball, is it? Right, I know I'm deleting a lot, but also this area is going to be regenerized, is that the right term? So I need to do ground, so it forces it to stay on the ground. And we're going to pass this through. Now, it can't go because of water, but, well, a bit of anarchy can't solve. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Right, bring you to there. That should remain at a beautiful height leading over. So... It doesn't technically align perfect, which is really annoying. So it kind of begs the question, well, what is the best way to align it? I think I'm going to actually delete all this. Because the road ends there. It's better to align it to this road than it is to that one, because there's more road I've got to work with on that front. So this has really changed this whole area. Right, let's keep it going. Keep it going right now. So where does it snap? I mean, it helps if I'm not using that road. Wait, where did that... Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. What's going on with my roads? Oh, there we go. I thought I guess I'm missing a road then. Right, if anything could go wrong right now, it's already happened. It's already happened. I've lost the will to live. Right. That's now snapped in. That's connected over. Running you straight. We are continuing. We are continuing. We have continued. So that's kind of now brought itself into all this vicinity. We're going to delete all these buildings real quick, because they now no longer align to what we have set up. That elementary school is probably going to get deleted and kind of placed down in like some new variation. That is... Wow, that is so wonky. Let's not go down the road now of me having another issue like we did last episode of me trying to build roads. Right, that's completely off. So if I go by one more... the whole thing is completely off, isn't it? So if I then... I know it's going to run to that theoretically, but I'm not liking the kind of the spacing it's trying to do. It worked perfectly fine there. But for some reason it decides not to build here or do anything, which is really, really weird. But hey-ho. Bridge straight across. We're all good. I'm not going to play around anymore. So, we're going to level the terrain off here. So, target height is going to be roughly about here anyway. Bring this straight through. And then we'll go bigger on the brush size. And then we've just reclaimed this whole area. Oh my goodness me. Right, we'll soften it to a certain extent, because it will push out some stuff, but again, not too much. There we go. There we go. So we have got like a rogue piece of something or other in this area. Now, if I get the cargo harbour, I need to build the cargo harbour with this amount of space. So I'm going to be losing a little bit of this area anyway. So delete you, delete all of you, and just so I can see what space I'm working with at this point. So again, we'll anarchy all this in. So if I built this like here, right? Very good, very good. And what's your issue? No car access to the road? Are you crazy right now? It also could be that I need a little bit of land coming off the edge of this, because I have gone straight up to the edge of the road, haven't I? Is that on level? That is on level. So if I kind of go to that size there, and then smoothie a little bit, so you get like a little bit of a shore front, but not too much, because it is a harbour. Or it will be a harbour anyway. And then place you in. So if I went there. So we have the car access. It's just the waterways is a little bit funky at the moment. Right, so back to leveling. Because we kind of want to create this big area to work with. So we kind of go to there and then push this back. So if I just kind of flatten all this, and then we'll smoothen it all to make it work. Now, how and... well, yeah, how are we working with this? So that's as far as I want to take that. So if I then do the softening, which pushes us back a bit. So we create... well, I mean, it wouldn't be considered a natural shoreline, but it's what feels like a natural shoreline at that point. Right, we'll bring all this down. We'll suck from the bottom here. So we create like a little bit of a basin. Very good. And once I press play, the water will then settle. Now, all of a sudden, we've got this big area we can work with. And that's kind of really, really exciting. Because if we allow this 4-lane road to complete itself... now, I wonder if I redid this road now with the land here, would it change much? So if I never anarchied it this time... okay, already it doesn't like that. So this is me not anarchying it right now. And at the very last minute, it kind of changes its angle slightly. There we go. 4-lane road would lead in. Now, what's interesting about this is, because we're going to keep the 4-lane road. I did have ideas, maybe we can kind of delete it. But we've got a 4-lane road that leads and links to the major 4-lane road that kind of runs up and down and then off into the industrial areas. That's if you go this way. But if you go this way and hook up to that 4-lane road, you're straight into the highway. So there's 2 different directions you can go, which makes life easier. Also, this now going across makes this area even more beautiful. So let's just get the OilTown back to how it ultimately needs to be. So if I ran this into here, we're going to anarchy this. Right, it doesn't like the idea of that. And you can't delete a spot. I wonder if I delete this now, can I delete you? Weird that is, isn't it? That is very, very weird. That is very weird. So put you back anyway. And then we'll run these coming down. So you to there. You to there. There's a weird spot there, but that... It doesn't really matter, that. It doesn't really matter. Now, we're on soften, so we'll soften a bit more. And then... Oh, hang on. Hold on. Pause. We got a rogue piece here. What's this doing here, this rogue piece? Let me level. Push you out. What is that? Is that path? Oh, it's path. There we go. So last thing I wanted to quickly do now then is add the extra, or add the transit terminal and add the extra pier. That's all I kind of want to do there. So let me just quickly now get set up the passenger shipping route. So, oh, because I deleted one and it's only a back and forth, does that? Ah, that completely gets rid of them. Right. So passenger shipping from here. And then we'll have this one to here. Wait, what do you mean the pathfinding is unavailable? Oh, wow, the pathfinding really is unavailable. Okay, I think we might need to change how we've done this. So if I bought this... No, I don't want to delete you. If I bought that to there... And if I... Do you know what? Yeah, just keep it like that. Let's just keep it like that. So from here... to there and to there. Okay, that... Oh, that one doesn't work. I wonder why. Right, the pathfinding's a little bit off right now. It could be that the angle of it. So if I came down straight on both sides and then went for a diagonal. Now, I know it looks very, very weird now at this point, but I'm wondering if that changes it at all. Ah, we can now access both sides. Right, we got there, guys. We got there in the end. Right, that one's done. And then going back outside the region. Right, we're back in business. That's now set up, but there's still a few little issues here and there. There is still a few little issues. Now, one of them is to do with the buses. So let me just quickly fix these bus issues right now. So what we got to do is we got to move these into the transit terminal section. Now, we'll have to reconfigure all the buses anyway, because now it no longer makes sense with how they're running. And we have this big open spot where we also need to kind of cover with said buses. Now, something I'm going to do right now, which is going to be really annoying, is I'm going to not only put it back into play mode, so the game can figure out what's going down and catch up, delete what is excess and we no longer need, but I'm going to dezone the majority of this area so we can rework it, okay? So if I get rid of all of this zone in here for the low density stuff, we're going to get rid of all the offices here. I feel like this whole area needs regenerating. So get rid of all the zoning. Get rid of all of you. I'm going to also get rid of all the tall buildings here. We'll eventually get them all back, don't worry. So before you have a mental breakdown in the comment section down below, they will all come back. I just want to completely jig the whole road network. And for some reason, this is now sunken down. This is why I want to fix it all. This is why I want to fix it all right now. So, we're going to get rid of the roads. Right, and I'm going to delete you to there for a hot min. Completely get rid of all the roads, because now that, again, like I said, they no longer make any sense. And now we have this freedom to kind of play around and jazz up the whole section. So delete as much as we can, and then we'll try our best to redo this network of roads. And see what we can kind of get from it all. Right, so looking at this then, we've got that major road coming out, which is unbelievable that it doesn't align. It's out by millimeters, isn't it? It really is out by millimeters. So if I just kind of continue this, it's a grid format. That's literally what it is. But the issue is, it doesn't like to align correctly. That's always going to be the big issue about this whole area. I don't know whether it's the 4-lane roads that make it do it, or what it is right now. I might actually delete the 4-lane roads just to there to see. It's like there's like a little section there you can kind of like... Now, what are we basing this off? Like, what is the smart thing? I mean, we can also assume that there is a little bit of a gap there. That doesn't mean that these necessarily run in perfect alignment. Which is also kind of annoying, isn't it? Well, anyway, we are kind of redoing this area as well. So we've got to delete a lot, unfortunately. We've got to delete a lot. And then I'll run it off this, because this seems to be okay. Now, it's hooked up to that, which seems to run perfectly well. So it might have just been that one area. Oh, that's run really well. So where does it all go wrong for this section? Because somehow down the road, it all goes wrong for that one road. It kind of like goes out, bends in, and kicks back in again. It's really, really wild to see it actually do that. Now, we've got to delete a bit more of this. Right now. And then we're going to try and run this perfectly into these areas. So you can see what we've got to work with. This should technically run beautifully just like that. And then this should run beautifully just like that. So that road is slightly off anyway. You can kind of tell that from the get-go there. And so it could be just a couple of these roads here that kind of then just technically throw us all off again. So I'm going to delete all this. I've now discovered that if we push it back a bit further and then rejig it, you might get a better alignment. So I'm going to delete all this road here. And theoretically, if I just randomly come off this and did a 90 degree, you almost get exactly what we're looking for. But I want to get exactly what we're looking for. That's the difference. So, pick you, 112, and then cut across. That is there, your alignment. That there is your alignment. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to anarchy this to go straight. As much as we can. If I run it all the way down to there, there you go. We've got our alignment. So everything else is all out of position. Who would have thought that this whole little section right now was completely crazy? Right, so next I'm going to delete to... I mean, that's our subway station there, isn't it? If I delete you and run you... Actually, I don't need to delete that. Just delete the bends. Delete this and this, the bends. Delete that building. This is all now going to go. That was a signature building I've just deleted, by the way. But it completely allows me to rejig this whole area. And it's pretty much combining the two and merging it into one larger suburb vibe. Liking it. Liking it right now. Right, run you to there. There we go. There's a few little dips and bends, and what we could say to that is, it's part of the landscape. It's what makes this place a little bit different, a little bit unique. Now, we can tell straight away instantly that this 4-lane road doesn't run how we want it to. So I'm going to delete it down to here. Right, and then we are going to redo this little section. And hopefully we can get this medium road, which does align to there, to run a little bit straighter. See, theoretically we want it to run into there. But then that's completely off. The whole... do you know what it is? I think the alignment of this is completely off. So I don't think we're going to win either way. But let's just see where this... That's better. Not so much here, but that's better for this little section. But it then kind of goes a little bit off. Moving it a bit further down. So delete all you. We'll delete this as well. It's easier to just dezone the whole area. Dezone you. And that little bit there. There's all little rogue bits here you've got to dezone as well. Is it easier just to, like, do it like that? Oh, no, 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 no. I don't know what zoning that is. I'm going to assume it's medium density. I've now just messed everything all up. Damn it. Right, let's continue. Continue pushing forward. See, now I want it to align, but it's not going to align. And why is that? There's so many nuances here with getting this area complete. But I'm just going to run it into there. Run it into there like nothing ever happened. Okay, so we've got a basis right now. We've got an idea of how this is now working. You can see where the original outline of the waterfront was. And that should technically work for us. Now, what I'll do is just kind of trim what I no longer want. Get rid of you. Get rid of all of this. We'll get rid of these because we're going to do some different stuff in this vicinity. We'll get rid of you. I've now got to technically reposition this because it no longer sits how you want it to sit. Alright, is it easy just to kind of like throw it here real quick and then move it back? Right, I think that's now back in business. We'll get that 4-lane medium road here. Running down. And we're technically almost there. So we need a road that divides in the middle, which will connect up to this. So that dividing middle road, it should be quite easy to figure this out. So if I went from here to there. And if I did, well actually if I come off this one. So if I do a 304, 305, which is fine, that there is going to be our middle point. So providing it all aligns correctly, that's our middle point right there. And that shall do. Now, of course, the alignment's going to be completely off. Because this game hates everything. What is it I've got to turn off not to make it do any of this jazz? Right, we've managed to do it either way. We've managed to do it anyway. Building roads is my arch enemy. There we go. So, let me now get back in what we've done in this area. And I no longer need it to feel like it's this cool, hip, vibed area. It's a case of now we have the ability to build it correctly and properly. Let's build it correctly and properly, okay? So get rid of all these terrible roads that no longer need to feel like they need to try and fit in. We'll give them a home and make them feel at peace, at ease. Get rid. And not like in this road leading right down. That can get out of here. But it does mess up a lot of stuff. So this vicinity anyway, we're going to now rejig. I'm probably going to delete this park. Get that out of here. Delete you. Delete this. It might actually help me build a better variation of this road. That would be the way to go forward now, wouldn't it? So, no. I don't know what it is that I have to technically turn on or off to make this work as a connection. I don't know what it is to make it not do what it's doing. I mean, I can turn anarchy off for one. But, like, what makes it go slightly skew-if? So, snap to guidelines, snap to grid, snap to sides of buildings. Oh, could it be the buildings? I just feel like I'm never winning. You know what I mean? I just feel like I'm never winning with building a straight line road. And to be honest with you, it wasn't even perfectly straight to begin with. Somebody somewhere wants to be snapped. I mean, I know we're going to get breaks in some of the contour lines, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Right, we're going to come off of this bit here to run down to there. To run this further down to where I'm going to upgrade that to that style of road. And I'll bend you in, but I don't know whether the junction that's now going to be created from this is going to be an issue. There's me talking like we're going to have issues and problems in OilTown with traffic, and that's not a thing that we have. Right, now we're a bit more open, okay? Now a bit more open to work with these areas. I will finalize this little section here with that road. I know it's not the perfect grid alignment. That's the one thing I hate about City Skylines 2 is how difficult it is to make stuff actually align. Well, I say not how difficult it is, it's how easy it is to make stuff not align is probably the better way to put it. But it's one of the many flaws that we probably learn to love, even though we all hate it. I can't learn to love it. I can never learn to love it. Right, so that opens up this area, like I said. We're now very, 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 very open with this section. I've got that road that comes down like this. I don't know whether to actually now technically just get rid of that. There's no need for it in many ways. Direct route to the highway. All connections in. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. But obviously we have some issues with connections, especially the buses. So the buses, if I just drop a bus shelter, for example, here, just to get you connected in, that puts that line back up and running. We have a power issue there because of the power line. Now I'm going to get rid of that connection just to there. That also runs down to there, which we'll get rid of to here. Those issues are now gone. Any other issues I've caused simply from the fact of rejigging this area? I think we're now back on it with public transport, right? The subway line is still in and somehow still working, but that's going to have to now be technically repositioned. So what is the best way for me to do this? Now, I reckon if I finalize this road layout here, so I get this big boy road, and if I push this going out, right, as it's intended to do, And that does create the slightest of gaps, which I'm not a fan of. There we go. Now this technically would go to here, but it's going to make itself go under the... Well, I say it's not. It won't make itself go under. Now, that's a question with what do I do with this area? Do I keep that elevated a bit longer and then drop it down to enter on this ramp? No, it's too far. We don't really see that much traffic. It's a case of what do we do now here? Okay, because this is technically the perfect road for the subway line. But we want to slightly bring it down, create a transit hub here, to then bring it back up again. Now, if I was to do that, for example, the subway stop and the underground station, which is this one, I would have it here. And I would do it literally central, like that. And then we would create, I would create the ability to cross the road there. So it's only 1 block away. It's a direct route connection in, which will make life a little bit easier for them. Thus, not creating too much of a bend to snake it all the way back and through. So if I now pause, and if I now delete this station, go back under, delete this back, delete that back, delete this to there, I reckon we'll actually be okay here with that bend. That will be perfectly fine. So if I was to implement the underground subway tracks here with the complex curve, obviously. So complex curve. I'm going to go what I feel like is about halfway. Which is there. And then in. No dramas at all. No dramas at all. And then this connection here. So I'm just going to placeholder this now. We've only really then technically changed 1 stop. And it does, then it means it pushes that stop from there just to over here, where it's a bit closer to the harbour, because that's where you're going to get the most amount of passengers coming and going from this. So if I now move all these lines over to here. So you're there. That red one is also on this one. And then spin it round, because then these ones go on this side. Which is getting a little bit difficult to implement. There we go. And then you there. They're now all back up and set up again. So I can now go back into play mode. It's just with this stop being here, it breaks this. Now, I can't move this one down because of the 90-degree bend there. It's already stretched enough as it is. So it's a case of, I feel like I might elevate this one more and then drop it down. So we have this little bit of an underpass. So if I delete you, delete you, delete you, delete you to there, which will be fine. Delete you. And... right, we are going to get that 4-lane road, which now that is actually gone, is this my chance to kind of make it actually even? Right, just give me a second, boys. Give me a second here. Right now. Hold on. No, because not everything aligns, does it? You kind of forget not everything aligns, especially this little area here. But I suppose it doesn't really matter anymore, right? I suppose it doesn't matter anymore. Anyway. Right, what am I not snapping it to now? I forgot what I weren't snapping it to. There we go. So, I'll base it off this here. So, if I raise this up to 10... and then brought that down. That's my understanding of that is where that road will run into. And it's not visually noticeable that it's slightly off-centered, which then gives me the ability to run this all the way through, which I can't because of the overlapping of the pillar underneath. But if I just brought that to there, now all of a sudden, that works beautifully. So if I just get the rest of this 4-lane medium road to run to there, run all the way down. Well, I say run all the way down. There's going to be no snap in this, is there? There. I should put the snapping back on now, right? There, and then get the bus stop back in. Because we've just deleted the bus stop. Where's the bus stop? The bus shelter. There we go. And does that now pathfind everything back to normal? It does. So, bit different how we had to set it up, but that should still work. It's still all placeholder for now, but if we create pathways and more additional roads coming through, that means that subway station there is accessible for a lot of people. We just got to create more connectivity running through the area. And we do have this road as well. I can't forget this road. So if I ran that all the way through as well, we have got the biggest inner city grid I've ever seen. Yeah, in OilTown, I should say. In OilTown. So, let me just add in something that will make it a bit more obvious for this subway stop. And what I'll do is, I'll incorporate it as walkability. Okay? So, we kind of lose out where this will be the road connection tearing up and through. And what we'll do instead is create walkability. So, if I come off this here, so if I do one of these, and if I do it on both sides, I then just simply run this all the way up. Like that. And that would simulate the ability for them to walk as if there was a road. Okay? That's literally what it does. And it comes off the junction. And we're going to do both sides. And that creates a double connection there. I can kind of turn that off. We'll do it on both sides. It's a bit hard to see the one side because it's covered within the shadow. But if you're here and want to get to there, you just walk down the road, bam, you're at the subway stop. But we will have bus stations leading around as normal anyway. So now, we can go a little bit crazy again right now with all the building. So should we just finalize this area off here to start bringing back my big skyscrapers? I think so. Now, it's not going to be perfect because we have lost our delicious grid format in this area. It's a bit all over the place, but it will work none the least. So, a few little sections I'm not a big fan of there, but it would do us in the end. Right, paint tool then. We're going to paint all this in with the big high density commercial. Not commercial, sorry. What's it called? Offices. I had to think then for a second. What is it called? We'll do some offices there. I'm going to do the offices next to the highway road. And then we'll do some low rent housing just here. And just there to kind of fill that gap up. There we go. And that will start bulking this area up now. Now, we're going to transition to a different style of housing on this side in general here as well. So rather than... Actually, I do need to delete it, don't I? So let me just quickly delete it first. Then I'll rezone it. Alright, there we go. Bam, bam, bam. I'm not sure what zoning this is, but I'm going to rezone all of this as well. There's a little bit just here, which I'm going to... Ooh... Do I get rid of this? I mean, what even is this little section? It was all linked up for commercial where we had the subway station in. But like I said, we're going to now redo all the zoning. Leading down. And there's nothing else like roguely zoned, is there? I don't think so. So what we'll do, we'll keep to some medium density, at least for these two sections. No, these three sections here. We'll do the medium density. And then we start to bring it up a notch. So I think around here is going to be very, 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 very nice high density commercial. Okay. That's what we'll initially throw in there. You can see how tall those buildings grow. They are naturally a little bit bigger than the residential buildings there. And what I'll also set up as well, there's nothing... Oh, I can add some additional stuff to it. But I was going to see if I can then maybe throw in. So if I don't know whether if anarchying a path going through like this is decent enough to kind of play around with connections for people wanting to access, if I just did it to there, the subway station. I'm not sure. Again, we're playing around with the idea, right? So back to the commercial. We'll do a nice chunk of commercial just there because it's going to be quite a populous area. I feel like that would heavily work out for us. And then we'll do some low rent housing, initially closer to the highway. We'll go there, and we'll go up to there. Because it creates a little bit of a buffer. And low rent means they're more likely to put up with some of the noise coming from said highway. We have high density, which for this, we're going to throw in all the way down to... Oh, no, this is the tricky one because I don't want to build it in blocks because it can come across a bit wild. So we might build it in blocks, but not the blocks we would assume we would build it in. So if I go to here, I want to go a bit bigger on that block. And a bit... Might as well go to there with that one. And what I'll do is I'll see what the cityscape looks like after we've built all of this. And I've kind of allowed us some gaps and spaces for maybe the odd park or two. And see how this is kind of going to come across. So, Pipeline Plaza is not really now a thing. Now, I don't know whether to now technically rename it. We're going to now rejig some of this stuff. I don't know whether to now rename it or keep it the name that it is. What do you guys reckon about that? If I should rename it, let me know in the comment section down below. If so, what do I rename it to? Or do I keep it as a little bit of a homage? And like I said, keep the name in. Let me know what you guys reckon in the comment section down below. And we'll come back next episode and kind of slightly change it. So I'll leave this to normal houses. I like how it ends it on the peninsula. It does look pretty cool, pretty nice. This is going to take some doing right now to build this whole section back up because we got to wait for all our demands to kind of regenerate. That is easier said than done. We need a lot of hearses right now, so they should all be pumping out. It's because I deleted so much road and messed everything all up. It's kind of thrown all of our city services into scarcity right now. But we're getting somewhere. So this, like I said, will be interesting. Big buildings will be crawling back in. I have taken a little bit of hit on population and maybe probably unemployment's risen quite high. It's 4.9, so it's not bad in reality. And we just let all this now tick along. New people are going to be moving in. They have the ease right now, damn big buildings, to walk directly across our path here to get to the subway station. It's a shame you can't integrate subway lines within the harbours. It is a shame, isn't it? It is a shame. That's a lot of people, isn't it? There's a lot of people coming in of recent. But this whole area is going to transform. It really is going to transform. So, am I able just to kind of do our last little bit of terraforming real quick to level? So, I'm going to try and level that somewhat of a straight line. Alright, I keep thinking I've pressed smooth and I haven't. Slightly annoying, but that would do. That would do. Just solely for me to run a little road going down here. It's mainly so I can access this area. That is... How? All I want to know is how. Even that's sprawling away slightly. But we'll bring that to there. And then that runs in. It allows me then to throw down a bit more offices. There we go, there we go. So it bulks up the skyline in this little section. So I don't want a huge section, but I want it to feel like this is the main, not the main point, but one of the major central points, and these like the sprawly out, grown on their own section, so that makes any sense whatsoever. So this will take a while to all kind of get up and running. It really will take a while right now because we've got no high density demand whatsoever. But this will also now create an absolute ridiculous, right, residential boom. It really will. I'll fill a few of these areas right now with some of this residential that I do have available. And I am going to have to place down so many services for these people that are now going to be moving in. Right, I've gone a little bit smaller on some of this, so it doesn't stick out too much in this peninsula. But I like keeping that little bit there of a low density. I don't know whether to kind of rejig it. But doing this transforms this whole section dramatically for obvious reasons. But it now completely messes up everything that we've done in the past. So all of our public transport lines are now a bit funky. Subway line is not too bad. That kind of does what I need it to do. But it's our bus routes. Some of them are a bit weird because they no longer make sense. So, but also we now have the ability to kind of position new ones. So I feel like we need to take an episode in kind of trying to figure all that stuff out. So far, the utility island has ran pretty smooth. And I've just now got to wait for the services to catch themselves up after I completely oofed this whole area. So, we're now building up. We have got some taller buildings now coming in. It's going to be really interesting to see how this area ultimately transforms itself and how it kind of then grows back. So, if you're excited to find out, smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new, so you get notified when more episodes do come out. Until next time, I'll see you all soon, so goodbye.